Hi, people. In a tense moment during cross-examination in a South African murder trial, prosecutors confronted Mr. Ntanzi with a selfie recovered from his phone's memory card, dated September 24, 2020, a day he claimed he did not have the device. The metadata showed the photo was taken on a Samsung J5, the same model as his seized phone, and it also showed him with longer hair, contradicting his earlier testimony that he had not grown his hair before his arrest. Defense lawyers immediately objected, accusing the state of trial by ambush because the photo had not been specifically flagged in advance, even though the USB containing thousands of files had been shared earlier. Prosecutors responded that all the material had been disclosed and that they are not required to reveal which exact pieces will be used in cross-examination. The judge stepped in and allowed the defense time to review the photo before the trial continued. The confrontation added pressure to the case, especially since records show 1,718 calls between the accused's number and an associate of the victim, while Ntanzi continues to claim he never had the phone.
There are a series of photos that we wish to refer to, 6 photos.
Kunethombe ke ezingaba isithupha esingathanda ukuthi ke sikhulume ngazo noma kusukuse kuzona.
The first photo is on page 948 of 5471.
Page 948.
Yes, page 948 of 5471.
Okay. Isithombe soqala ilosana sisivelayo ku page 948.
Can you identify the person on that photo?
Ungasitshela ukuthi ke ubani ke lo muntu lo obonakala kulesithombe?
Isithombe ngesango singaka.
It's my picture.
Can you describe the hair as it appears on this photo? Your hair as it appears on this photo?
Ungasichazela ke inwele zakho ukuthi njengoba sivela thebeni ukuthi zinjani?
Zikhulile.
The hair has grown.
Before your arrest, was your hair grown like that?
Ngaphambi ukuthi uboshe inwele zakho bezikhule kanje?
Bezingakhulile.
No, they were not grown like this.
If you look at the file name, it says 2020 09 24. Do you see that?
Uyabona ke la kubhalwe khona ke ngesingisi file name lapho kuvela khona u2020 09 24.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see that.
And just before the middle of the page, there's dates and time.
Uyabona ke lapho kubhalwe khona ke usuku futhi nesikhathi.
Date, time, it says 2020 09 24, and it says time 13:43 21.
Uyabona lapho kubhalwe khona ke usuku futhi nesikhathi. Usuku ke kuthiwa 2020 09 24, isikhathi ke nasithi 13:43.
Yebo ngiyabona.
Yes, I can see that.
When Warrant Officer Ndlovu testified, he said these dates are the date and time when the photo was taken.
Ngale nkathi ke warrant officer ke naye ethula ke ufakazi bakhe la enkantolo uyobeka la enkantolo ukuthi ke isikhathi ke nosuku ngale nkathi isithombe lesithathwa ngaso sathathwa ngayo usuku lolu futhi ngaso lesona isikhathi lesi.
Akulona iqiniso.
That is not correct.
So when he was referring to the metadata of the 18 photos
Ngale nkathi ekhuluma ke ngethombe lezi ezi 18
that were handed up,
lezi ke zanikezelwa.
Lesi sithombe la ngiyaqala ukusibona lapha ekhodi. Sivezwa lapha la. Lesi nje sokuqala lesi sokuqala ngiyaqala ukusibona.
This picture that is projected before the court today, it is my first time seeing this particular picture here today.
Okwesibili lesi sithombe lesi bengisekhaya ngamalanga ecorona ngiyeke inwele zami kanje. Ngamalanga ecorona.
And secondly, this picture I was at home during the corona days and I had allowed or let my hair grow like this.
Akusisi sithombe sa 2020 sale date ebhalwe.
This picture is not the picture of this particular date that is written on this document.
But you just testified, Mr. Ntanzi, that before your arrest, you did not grow your hair.
Kodwa ukusho ukuthi ngaphambi ukuthi uboshwe ke inwele zakho ke bungasikhulisanga.
Mangisuka ekhaya angithi mina ngiboshwe sengigodile ngeke ngiye nenwele engaka emgodini ngingawa mangane nenwele engaka emgodini.
My lord, it's not possible that I'll go into prison with, I mean into the
Emsebenzi yapha ngisebenza umgodi.
It's not possible that I'll go where I work because I'm working in the ditch. It is not possible that I'll go with hair grown like this.
Mangibuye ekhaya ngifika ngagonde Rustenburg mangibuye ekhaya.
When I came back from Rustenburg at home, I cut my hair.
So when you work underground, you're not allowed to grow your hair. Did you say that?
Usho ukuthi mawusebenza ngaphansi ke awumelanga ukuthi ke ukhulise inwele zakho.
Angishongo njalo ngithi mina.
I didn't say so.
Nawe ngutshela so Nkosi phambi Nkosi enkantolo mina ngisebenza isayidi nento ethiwa isayidi emgodini ngidrive umshini.
Macala baba. Let me explain like this, my lord. I work in the section where they call a site. I drive
Ngidrive umshini winch.
I drive a machine called winch.
Angisebenza lapho clean khona ama toilet nemsela lapho clean amaphepha ngisebenza straight lapho kugujwa khona platinum.
I don't work where they clean papers and all that. I work deep where they dig or platinum.
Le ndawo iyashisa ngeke ngihlala nenwele engaka emgodini.
That place, my lord, is hot. I cannot keep hair like this.
If you look at the metadata, it says equipment make. It's about the 6th line from the top. It says equipment make Samsung.
Uma sibheka futhi ke la kule phepha leli futhi ke lapho kubhalwe khona ke equipment make yathi Samsung.
And just below it, it says equipment model SMJ500F.
Futhi ke umshini osetshenzisiwe ke ngaba ke SMJ500F.
Ngiyakubona.
I can see that.
And yours device, the Samsung J5. Oh, your device was also a Samsung J5, is that correct?
Umakhalekhukhwini wakho nawo beku Samsung J5.
Ngiyethemba sengikhuluma amahlandla amane ngithi before yami thatha amaphoyisa J5 Samsung.
Yes, I've said this on many occasions that my phone that was taken by the police was a Samsung J5.
Okunye phambi Nkosi enkantolo mina ngibona lesi sithombe sesibhala ama date. Ngalesi sikhathi isithombe siqala ukuyibona hayi lesi ezinye. Bezingenawo ama date ithiwa zithombe zayidelete zayingena ama date. Manje lesi sithombe sesibhala idate siqhamuka phambi kwenkantolo.
And another thing that I would like to place on record, my lord, I see now that this picture that is projected before the court has dates on it. The other pictures that were shown to us did not have the dates. So my question is, where did these dates come from? Who put these dates there?
Ngoba yiqhuma babondlovu ekhoma lathi izithombe lezi beyidelethiwe azinawo ama date. Manje mase iqhama seyibhala ama date seqhamuka.
Because Mr. Ndlovu did testify that the pictures that were deleted did not have the dates. So where is these dates coming from now?
Manje mina lapha ecourt ngisecourt iqala leyaphenywa ngapha ngemuva. Mina ngilapha ngiseboxini ngibuza imibuzo iqala yaphenya ngemuva futhi.
Now I'm standing before the court giving my evidence. On the other hand, behind the investigations are still going on.
Now, this picture was not deleted, Mr. Mr. Ntanzi.
Ntanzi kodwa lesithombe lesi esikhuluma ngaso ke namhlanje sona azange ke sisuswe noma sidelete.
Mina ngikhuluma ngento ekhulunywa uNdlovu lapha etsheni court ithombe zifakwela.
I am talking about what Ndlovu told the court when he was testifying when the pictures were projected.
Ngoba ngisho ummeli wami mayengilida ngethombe la azange ngikhombise idate manje zivele zingena date lapha phambi kwecourt.
But even when my attorney was leading evidence, he did not show me the dates on the pictures. The pictures were projected without the dates.
Which pictures are you referring to?
Ukhuluma ke ngaziphi izithombe?
Head of tail of what's happening. My lord, the photos that were disclosed to us is exhibit DD5B, the 18 photographs that include 2 photographs of accused number 1 at the end, which is photos 17 and 18. The photograph that is now here on the screen and accused number 2, or the witness is confronted with, did not form part of that bundle that was disclosed to us. And in all honesty, my lord, after my last, my leading of the witness, I then approached the state to say, I request the same photographs, DD5B, but with the metadata. That was never disclosed to me, my lord.
Umnumzane Ramusipili ke uyasukuma la enkantolo ke ubeke enkantolo uthi inkosi enkantolo ngale nkathi ke thina sinikezwa ke izithombe ke sanikezwa izithombe ke unothombe ezimbili ngaphakathi ke eziveza ke umangalela ke lo oqala ithombe zakhona ke ngale nkathi ngibuza yena umsola wesibili ke imibuzo ke mangiceda ngeke ngacela umbuzo ukuthi ke usinikeze ke zonke izithombe ke ezine data ephelele kodwa namanje anganikezwa konke lokho.
Lord, I do not intend to interfere with what Ms. Ramusipili has said, but it has been a culture in this court that when information gets made available to the defense, all the defense members would receive such information, including some pictures as well. In all honesty, I'm seeing this photo for the first time. I've never seen it, which is the reason why I'm saying it's very surprising. It constitutes new information at the instance of the defense, my lord. And that be the case, it amounts to a trial by ambush, my lord, because we needed to question where this information came from, when was it taken, the metadata applicable to that photo, etc., etc., etc. So this is trial by ambush, my lord, for lack of making available this information at the time at which it was supposed to be. Thank you, ma'am.
Futhi ke ummeli ke na usukumile ke uyabeka la enkantolo uthi inkosi enkantolo ke nami ke ngithanda ukubeka kuloko ke umzana Ramusipili ke kubekile ukuthi ke nami ke isithombe lesi ke esivela namhlanje ngiyaqala nqa ukusithola ke ene futhi inkinga ukuthi manje ke uma ke ngazi zonke inkathi umbuso ke makhona mhlawumbe kunye okuphenyiwe abakutholile ke abasinikezi ke nathi ngesikhathi lokho okutholakele ke ngendlela engibona ngakhona mhlawumbe siyazingelwa nje.
Yeah, what's the state's response?
My lord, the USB containing these photos was disclosed to the defense well in advance before Warrant Officer Ndlovu testified.
So the defense has this information?
Yes, they have the information. In fact, during cross-examination, Advocate Nisi did ask Warrant Officer Ndlovu about the authenticity of the downloads, and this we see on the 11th of June 2025, page 29, at line 10, Advocate Nisi. Now, this witness, it's during the cross-examination of Warrant Officer Ndlovu. Now, Advocate Nisi, now this witness was asked to confirm whether the information that he downloaded is the same information that is contained in the CD. And then you said yes. Then Warrant Officer Ndlovu says, I do not doubt that. And Advocate Nisi, now having burned that information, sir, into the CD, did you go through the CD to verify that the content that you burned into the CD was exactly the same information from the main source that you burnt it from? In other words, he's being asked whether he checked whether the hash values are the same. And Warrant Officer Ndlovu testified as follows. He says, that is my job, I did it. Then Advocate Nisi at line 19, thank you. So you specifically went through each and every photo that was in the main source that was contained in the CD to confirm that this is indeed a duplicate of what is exactly contained in the main source, now that which is contained in the CD. Then Warrant Officer Ndlovu testified, this is an easy job because if we were to look at the USB, the CD, as well as the backup that we have back in our office, then you compare, you look at it, you know, it indicates to you that it starts from which page and ends at which page, and then it will point exactly the same pages. In other words, it's saying the hash values are the same. Now, my lord, we have selected these photos for the purpose of cross-examination. These photos have been disclosed to the defense. It is our submission, my lord, that we are entitled to cross-examine on these photos. The state can and is a principle of cross-examination that you can confront a witness with any information. We therefore submit, my lord, that we are entitled to cross-examine the witness on these photos. If they want to, in re-examination, if they want to take the matter up with the witness, Mr. Ntanzi, they are more than welcome to do so. Again, during the proceedings of 10 June 2025, page 28, line 9 says the male speaker, supposed to refers to Warrant Officer Ndlovu. Yeah, inform me that it's either the state or the defense. It says male speaker. Well, for number 2, it is, that is now accused number 2. It is 5,467 files, the court says, and then the others, the male speaker says for accused number 3, it is over 700, my lord. The court says, all right, and then the others, and the male speaker, I think it was the state, says those are the only ones. And the court asks, so in joint, how many photographs? And state says it is in excess of 6,000. So, my lord, the information was disclosed to the defense. What the defense is now basically saying is that we should have forewarned them that we are going to use specific photos for cross-examination. There isn't such a there isn't such a provision in our law, my lord, that the state should signal its intention beforehand that we are going to use certain information for cross-examination, and then to forewarn the We therefore make the submission, my lord, that we are within our rights to cross-examine on anything, including these photos, which were disclosed to our colleagues.
Yeah, but it's obvious the defendant hasn't read this or familiarized themselves with that information. Because I hear people saying, it's the first time I see this, even Mr. Ntanzi. Even the defense says so. You know what, to save time, how long does the defense need? Because I remember this USB story when Drew was here. And he was cross-examined partly on it. But if you are not ready, no problem. We can postpone so that you familiarize yourself with the information in the USB, and thereafter we continue.
As it please the court, my lord, let me just correct this perception. When the court is referring to us, there's no need for the court to say, I hear people saying that. We're not people here. That's how I understand it. We're members of the court, my lord. The court specifically needs to say, I hear members of the defense saying that, not I hear just people saying that. And in fact, my lord, I was simply saying that that particular photo, the one, not all the photos that the state is referring to, I was simply saying this is new photo altogether. I haven't seen it, and I still maintain that I have not seen it. But again, the state is not bad. Is not bad from introducing information that it has found subsequent to the beginning, subsequent to the starting of the trial, because there's a rule that says investigation does not stop to proceed even after the trial has just started. So, and that was emphasized by the court. We're not saying that the state should not proceed. We're only saying that this is new information altogether.
So what do we do? How long do you need?
We don't need no time, my lord. Let the state proceed.